Today, we will talk about behavioral approach. The behavioral approach to leadership focuses on the actions and behaviors of leaders rather than their personality traits or skills. It categorizes leadership behaviors into two main types: task behaviors, which help achieve goals, and relationship behaviors, which foster comfort and connection among followers. This approach shifts the focus of leadership research to how leaders interact with their followers in various contexts. Key studies in this area include research from the Ohio State University, which emphasized the importance of behaviors over traits, and studies from the University of Michigan, which examined leadership in small groups. Additionally, Blake and Mouton explored the balance of task and relationship behaviors in organizational settings. Collectively, these studies provide a comprehensive understanding of the behavioral approach and its implications for effective leadership. Leadership behavior comprises two key dimensions: task behaviors and relationship behaviors. Different situations may require varying degrees of each, but both are essential for effective leadership. Leaders' unique personalities and experiences influence their inclination toward being either more task-oriented, relationship-oriented, or a blend of both. Task orientation refers to leaders focused on accomplishing goals. Task-oriented behaviors include organizing work, defining roles, and establishing policies and procedures to enhance productivity. These behaviors are crucial for facilitating task accomplishment and ultimately contribute to a leader's effectiveness. Relationship-oriented leaders prioritize connecting with others over goal-directed behavior, focusing on fostering well-being among followers, cultivating positive relationships among team members, and creating a conducive work environment. Relationship-oriented leadership emphasizes building camaraderie, respect, trust, and acknowledging followers' individuality and personal needs. In contrast, task-oriented leaders are more goal-oriented, concentrating on achieving objectives through organizing work, defining roles, and setting policies for efficiency. Both task and relationship leadership behaviors are intertwined, and the behavioral approach examines how leaders balance these behaviors and how situational factors influence their leadership style. Researchers at Ohio State University shifted their focus from viewing leadership as a personality trait to analyzing leader behaviors by surveying followers about their leaders' actions. This led to the creation of the Leader Behavior Description Questionnaire, LBDQ, comprising 150 questions to identify leader behaviors. This questionnaire highlighted two key types of behaviors: initiating structure, task-oriented, and consideration, relationship-oriented. The Ohio State studies viewed these behaviors as distinct and independent dimensions, rather than points along a single continuum. Initiating structure behaviors involve organizing work and defining roles, while consideration behaviors focus on fostering camaraderie and trust. Studies aim to determine the effectiveness of these behaviors in different situations, with some contexts favoring high consideration and others high initiating structure. Research indicated that a combination of both behaviors is often the most effective leadership style. The behavioral approach emphasizes understanding how leaders blend task and relationship behaviors, with theories such as the path-goal approach exploring how leaders should integrate these behaviors for optimal leadership effectiveness. Researchers at the University of Michigan conducted studies on leadership behavior alongside those at Ohio State University, focusing on the impact of leaders' behaviors on small group performance. The Michigan research identified two leadership behaviors: employee orientation and production orientation. Employee orientation emphasizes human relations, valuing individual workers and attending to their personal needs, similar to the consideration behavior identified at Ohio State. Production orientation, on the other hand, prioritizes technical aspects and viewing workers as tools for task completion, akin to initiating structure behavior. Initially, Michigan researchers viewed employee and production orientations as opposite ends of a single continuum, implying a trade-off between focusing on people versus production. However, further studies led to a shift in perspective, considering these orientations as independent constructs, aligning with the findings at Ohio State. This new view suggests leaders can prioritize both production and employee concerns simultaneously. Studies in the 1950s and 1960s from both Ohio State and the University of Michigan aimed to determine how leaders could effectively blend task and relationship behaviors to enhance follower satisfaction and performance. Despite efforts to find a universal theory of leadership, results were contradictory and inconclusive. While some research suggested that leaders being highly task and relationship-oriented in all situations is beneficial, the overall consensus remained unclear. The managerial grid, later renamed the leadership grid, is a well-known model of managerial behavior introduced in the early 1960s and refined over time by Blake and McCants. This model has been widely utilized in organizational training and development. It aims to elucidate how leaders guide organizations in achieving their goals by considering two factors: concern for production and concern for people. These factors closely align with the task and relationship leadership behaviors discussed in leadership studies. Concern for production in the model reflects a leader's focus on accomplishing organizational tasks, encompassing activities such as policy decisions, product development, process efficiency, workload management, and sales targets. On the other hand, concern for people pertains to how a leader supports individuals within the organization in pursuing its objectives, including fostering commitment, trust, personal development, maintaining favorable working conditions, fair compensation, and positive social interactions. The leadership grid integrates concern for production and concern for people on a model with two intersecting axes. The horizontal axis represents the leader's emphasis on results, while the vertical axis represents their focus on people. Each axis is depicted as a 9-point scale, with 1 indicating minimal concern and 9 indicating maximum concern. By plotting scores on both axes, different leadership styles are illustrated, including authority compliance management, 9,1, country club management, 1,9, impoverished management, 1,1, middle of the road management, 5,5, and team management, 9,9. The authority compliance management, 9,1, style prioritizes task completion over interpersonal relationships. Leaders using this style see employees primarily as tools to achieve results and focus on issuing instructions rather than engaging in meaningful communication. They tend to be controlling, demanding, and overpowering, with little regard for employee well-being. The Country Club Management 1,9 style emphasizes relationships over productivity. Leaders focus on creating a positive and harmonious work environment, ensuring employees' social and personal needs are met. While they are agreeable, supportive, and uncontroversial, they often neglect task accomplishment, leading to lower productivity. The Impoverished Management 1,1 style reflects a lack of concern for both productivity and people. Leaders in this category tend to be uninvolved, indifferent, and apathetic, making little effort to engage with employees or drive organizational success. They often appear withdrawn and non-committal, leading to ineffective leadership. The Middle-of-the-Road Management 5,5 style represents a compromise between task achievement and employee relations. These leaders seek balance, ensuring moderate levels of production while maintaining acceptable workplace relationships. They avoid conflict and often make expedient decisions, but their reluctance to fully commit to either priority may result in mediocre performance. The Team Management 9,9 style is considered the most effective, as it places equal importance on productivity and employee engagement. Leaders encourage participation, teamwork, and commitment, fostering an environment where employees feel valued and motivated. These leaders are often open-minded, determined, and proactive, ensuring clear priorities and consistent follow-through. Beyond these 5 major styles, Blake and his colleagues have identified additional behaviors that integrate multiple aspects of the leadership grid, offering a more nuanced approach to leadership. Paternalism or maternalism in leadership involves a style that combines aspects of both the 1,9 and 9,1 leadership grid styles without integrating them. This leadership approach, often referred to as the benevolent dictator, entails behaving graciously towards followers while maintaining a primary focus on achieving goals. Leaders employing the paternalistic/maternalistic style treat individuals as separate from the task at hand. Leaders using the paternalistic/maternalistic style are typically characterized as displaying fatherly or motherly traits towards their followers. They view the organization as a family, make significant decisions, emphasize loyalty and obedience, and may reward compliance while penalizing non-compliance. Opportunism refers to a leadership style where a leader shifts between the 5 basic styles to serve personal interests rather than organizational goals. Opportunistic leaders are ruthless, cunning, and self-motivated, prioritizing their advancement over team or company success. However, some may see them as adaptable and strategic, adjusting their approach based on circumstances to maximize personal gain. Blake and Mouton, 1985, noted that leaders typically have a dominant style they use in most situations, along with a backup style they revert to under pressure or when their primary approach is ineffective. Overall, the leadership grid provides a practical framework for understanding leadership by balancing task-oriented and relationship-oriented behaviors. It aligns with key findings from the Ohio State and University of Michigan leadership studies and is widely used in organizational consulting and development worldwide. Berendt, Matz, and Goritz, 2017, have recently introduced the Integrated Model of Leadership Behavior, IMOB, which reflects the changing requirements of organizational settings. This model, based on a comprehensive analysis of leader behavior studies, is built upon the heuristic taxonomy of leader behavior initially crafted by Yukl. The IMOLB associates task-oriented behavior with the organizational need for change by focusing on envisioning change, fostering innovation, and promoting learning within the organization. On the other hand, relations-oriented behavior is linked to guiding followers in meeting external demands, such as networking, environmental monitoring, and mobilizing resources to address these demands. While the IMOLB is still in its early stages of development and has not yet undergone measurement or testing, it provides valuable insights into the interplay between leadership behaviors in contemporary organizational environments. This model offers a fresh perspective on how leadership behaviors can align with the evolving demands of modern workplaces. Okay, now the question is, how does the behavioral approach work? The behavioral approach to leadership differs from other models by providing a broad framework for assessing leadership behavior rather than a refined theory with specific prescriptions. It emphasizes the dual dimensions of leadership, task-oriented and relationship-oriented behaviors. This approach highlights that leaders must adapt their behaviors based on situational needs and follower requirements. Some situations call for more task orientation, while others require relationship nurturing, and sometimes a combination of both is necessary. For example, two professors on the first day of class illustrate this. Professor Smith focuses on task behavior by outlining the syllabus and assignments, while Professor Jones engages in relationship behavior by fostering student introductions and connections. Understanding these behavioral differences can help leaders modify their approaches to better meet their followers' needs. Overall, the behavioral approach allows for a general assessment of leadership behaviors, emphasizing the significance of both task performance and relationship building in influencing others. The behavioral approach to leadership has made significant contributions to leadership research and practice. It shifted the focus from viewing leadership as solely based on personal traits to examining leader behaviors in various situations. This broadened perspective allowed researchers to identify two fundamental leadership behaviors: consideration, relationship-oriented behavior, and initiation structure, task-oriented behavior, both of which are essential in group settings, whether in organizations, families, or teams. A wide range of studies has validated this approach, making it a credible and widely accepted framework for understanding leadership. The Ohio State and University of Michigan studies laid the foundation for this research, and further refinements, such as the managerial grid, have made the concepts more accessible to leaders. Extensive research confirms that leadership behaviors significantly impact success, reinforcing the model's practicality. At its core, the behavioral approach highlights that effective leadership depends on balancing task and relationship behaviors. Leaders must manage both aspects to guide their teams successfully. While some leadership models emphasize adapting to situations, this approach suggests that a strong concern for both people and productivity can be universally beneficial. Additionally, the behavioral approach is heuristic, meaning it serves as a valuable tool for self-reflection and growth. Leaders can assess their own behaviors, recognize areas for improvement, and adjust their leadership style accordingly. Unlike innate traits, leadership behaviors can be learned and developed, making this approach highly practical for leadership training and development. While the behavioral approach has strengths, it also has several limitations. Weak link to performance outcomes. Research has not consistently demonstrated a clear connection between leadership behaviors, task and relationship, and performance outcomes such as morale, job satisfaction, and productivity. The only strong finding is that considerate leaders tend to have more satisfied followers. Bias in leadership assessments. Most studies rely on followers' perceptions of their leaders, which may not accurately reflect actual leadership behavior. Followers may overestimate a leader's effectiveness due to personal biases or positive attributions. No universal leadership style. Like the trait approach, the behavioral approach has failed to identify a universal leadership style that is effective in all situations. The effectiveness of a leadership style depends on contextual factors, such as team goals, organizational structure, and cultural differences. Context matters. Research suggests that situational factors significantly influence leadership effectiveness. For example, leaders managing cross-functional teams must balance both task and relationship behaviors depending on project goals and team dynamics. High style is not always best. While some researchers argue that leaders who balance high task and high relationship behaviors are most effective, this is not always supported by evidence. Some situations demand a strong task-oriented approach, while others require more supportive leadership. Cultural bias. Most research on the behavioral approach is US-centric, reflecting Western leadership norms. Studies in other regions, such as Turkey, China, and India, suggest that paternalistic leadership, a combination of authority and benevolence, may be more effective in certain cultures. Overall, while the behavioral approach provides valuable insights into leadership behaviors, its effectiveness depends on situational and cultural factors, making it difficult to establish a one-size-fits-all leadership model. The behavioral approach is widely applicable in leadership settings, helping managers assess and improve their task and relationship behaviors. It serves as a self-reflective tool, allowing leaders to evaluate their effectiveness and make necessary adjustments. Many leadership training programs are based on this approach, using self-assessment questionnaires to help managers understand and refine their leadership styles. A key example is Blake and Moulton's Leadership Grid, which focuses on productivity, morale, and employee commitment through seminars that provide self-assessments, group exercises, and leadership critiques. Overall, the behavioral approach is a practical and widely used framework for leadership development, offering valuable insights for improving managerial effectiveness and organizational productivity.
Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to channel.